Shalom, shalom, Yasharala. It's your brother Mashaya coming at y'all with a quick edifying video through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahushua Bahashim, Wakak Wadash. So in today's lesson video, I wanted to go into what an armor bearer is, because you see that word a lot in the scriptures, and I've always wondered what an armor bearer is. So I'm going to pull up these two precepts real quick that gave me the idea to look it up. So I got 1 Samuel chapter 16 verse 21, and it says, "And David came to Saul and stood before him, and he loved him greatly, and he became his armor bearer." And then the last one is 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 13. It says, "And Jonathan climbed up upon his hands and upon his feet, and his armor bearer after him. And they fell before Jonathan, and his armor bearer slew after him." So let's go into what an armor bearer is, and I pray that this is edifying for you brothers and sisters, you Akium, Wa Akwatium, and for myself as well. But it says the duties of an armor bearer. So it says, "In the past I have described an armor bearer as one who in Old Testament days was responsible for carrying his master's shield into battle. He had the awesome responsibility of seeing to the safety and success of his officer. Today, we may not use the term armor bearer per se, but the servant leader or servant pastor relationship is just as needed and just as important as it was during the days of David and Saul. It is the spirit of an armor bearer to offer himself to wait on others, to serve as Elijah did, in order to eventually flow in the anointing that Elisha enjoyed. There are several duties of an armor bearer. I have listed 3 below for your benefit and review." Now we gotta read that. So the duties of an armor bearer. An armor bearer must provide strength for his leader. By his very presence, a true armor bearer will always display and produce an attitude of faith and peace. If you are to be successful in service as an armor bearer, all right, it's talking about an armor bearer in today's time, spiritually. But it says, "Armor bearer to your pastor, he must sense the joy and victory that is an integral part of your lifestyle. That alone will minister to him." All right, I haven't read this article. Let me see. Must have a deep down sense of respect. Must have a deep down sense of respect for his leader, and acceptance for and tolerance of his leader's personality and his ways of doing things. And 3 says, must instinctively understand his leader's thoughts. All right, let me do something real quick. What is an armor bearer? And again, Salaki, I should have skimmed through the article just to make sure that it was what I was looking for. But it says an armor bearer, also known as a shield bearer, is a personal attendant or assistant, typically for a warrior, king, or commander, who carries their shield, weapons, and other gear. They often also serve as a bodyguard and assist with other tasks, such as mounting a horse or chariot. Armor bearers were considered valuable right-hand men and were known for their bravery and skill as soldiers. So I'm just imagining King David being King Saul's armor bearer, doing all these warrior mighty acts and things. So it says, here's more detailed breakdown. Carrying gear. Armor bearers would carry a warrior's shield, weapons, and other equipment, especially since armor and weapons were often heavy. Bodyguard. They would stand close to their master, protecting them from harm and potentially fighting alongside them, assisting with tasks. Man, just imagine King David especially during the time when he was King Saul's armor bearer. He was still a young man. Just imagining being right by Saul, just holding a shield and a spear or a sword, just looking mighty, just looking ready for that action. But it says assisting with tasks. Armor bearers will help with tasks like mounting a horse or chariot, preparing for battle, or tending to their master's needs. A right hand man, they were often trusted and respected, acting as a valuable assistant and confidant. Selection, armor bearers are often selected based on their bravery and skill as soldiers, making them valuable allies in combat. In some contexts, like within religious or spiritual settings, and this is what we read, armor bearer could be used metaphorically to describe someone who provides support, encouragement, or protection, similar to how a physical armor bearer would protect a warrior. Let me see if they see any mighty pictures, give you a visual. It is pretty mighty. So that Yasharala, I pray our brothers and sisters were edified. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua, Bashem, Bakak Kodash. With that, Shalom.